Hi Daisy, it's so nice to see you here today. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm tired. I had a busy weekend, but I'm good.
Okay, just a little bit before we start, Daisy. Before we start talking about your weekend, is last session we have been talking about confidentiality, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Just a little detail that I want to touch base with you is that that everything we share, I mean, just briefly, it's going to remain confidential unless you want to harm yourself or somebody else, according to stipulations we shared last time. And also, my supervisor is going to have access to our notes and the confidentiality part, just so I can learn. I mean, then again, I'm a student and I'm learning, so it will be great to provide you better quality of services. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm. Okay. Then you were mentioning a little bit about your weekend. Do you want to talk about what we were mentioning last session, or how do you want to start?
I think last time we were talking about, just me being feeling guilty and my all the new roles that I'm taking on in my life, but I think it kind of ties into my weekend. It was my daughter's birthday. She turned 3, so it was a lot of fun. We had a big birthday party, and my husband is actually in town, so he flew in on Thursday. So it's been really nice to kind of share that experience with him and kind of like our roles are it's just it's so hard. I don't know how to even really put it into words. I think it's hard to go from being like together all of the time and sharing those responsibilities. Like, yes, like I mentioned, like I took on most of it because he was working. But now when he comes back into the picture, it's like a different dynamic, I guess. It's where he's trying to help more and insert more, but it's kind of disrupting my routine and how I'm doing things. And
Mhm.
it's also like I getting kind of annoyed with him and feeling kind of resentful towards him because he's getting frustrated with the kids, and I feel like he should be extra present from being apart from them for so long, if that makes sense. So I don't know. There's a lot of like I don't know. I feel like our chemistry isn't there, and it's kind of throwing things off. Um, yeah, it's exhausting.
Okay. You're mentioning being exhausted, but also, and you mentioned it also at the beginning of the session, just as soon as we open, but you're also saying that um, is it conflict because you want for him to be extra or to do extra little things here and there
Mm.
regarding to be with your kids, to be present among so many different areas, as you were mentioning on our last session. But then at the same time, do you think that it is interrupting? Do you want to talk a little bit more about that conflict? How is it just exhausting and how is it making you feel, or what do you think?
Yeah. It's just I think what's exhausting about it is that I'm trying so hard to like let him help because it's really hard for me to accept help.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm also really working on, again, not being resentful and like not nagging at him and like kind of picking at him. Um, but I feel like I'm just pulled in all kinds of directions. And I think that's part is the exhausting part. I'm not now that he's back in town, I'm also having to do that wife role, which when he's gone, I don't have to do that as much. Like I'm on the phone a lot, but I just feel like he's very demanding of my attention. And that's just another strain. Like he misses me so much and I love him so much, but it's exhausting trying to show up as that other version of me when I have all these other things like pulling at me.
Okay. And okay, talking about it is difficult to accept that help. It is
Yeah.
difficult to take that help. Is it something you want to explore today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that I'm kind of aware of, and I think we could definitely talk about is that I just have a need for control.
Mm-hmm.
I really want the reason that I get so frustrated with him when he like or anybody wants to help me, it's because they do it wrong.
Mhm.
They don't do it the way that I would do it. And then I do things a certain way because I know the outcome of like what would happen if I do it differently. For instance, if my daughter doesn't lay down for her nap at a certain time, I know that she will be cranky. And if it's like too long past her nap, then she will sleep too long and then she won't go to sleep later. Like, like I've done the routine so many times that I know what works. And so when he comes in and he tries to just kind of take over things, like I can give another example. Whenever I heat up, I have a hot lemon water every single morning.
Mhm.
And I have like a kettle and I fill it up to a certain mark because it takes the smallest, it's like exactly the amount that I need, but it doesn't take long to heat up.
Mhm.
And so the night before, he came and he was trying to be helpful to help me prepare for the next day. And he filled the kettle up to the very top. And I recognized that he was trying to help, but I was like, hey, the reason that I don't fill it all the way up is because it takes a really long time to heat up. But I was annoyed
Mhm.
because I was like, he's trying to help, but I already have a way of doing things. Like I don't want help because I can do it. But I do reach burnout faster when I don't accept the help and I'm kind of like running around doing all of the things. So I feel like I'm fighting myself to just accept it and releasing that control or being annoying and like taking control of everything, and making him feel like inadequate, I guess.
Okay. I see that you're talking about, I mean, we're going around the accepting the help, right? But at
Yeah.
the same time, the awareness, and I want to recognize that. I just want to take a little moment to recognize that being aware of, okay, this is going on. This is what my husband is offering me. And then at the same time, I can recognize that, ooh, I want to like say something about it. But you're
Yeah.
recognizing that he's helping. So I
Yeah.
think that's something that you should be completely proud of yourself. That is it's so difficult. And maybe since you're doing it so frequent, maybe we are not able to see it that that skill it's big and it's gonna help us to work together that it will be okay. Daisy, um, I recognize that he's helping. I get frustrated and
Yeah.
and we can work around it together. I mean, you can work
Yeah.
together with your husband. So that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think I can do that. I am trying to be more mindful of just not, yeah, having to take control. Even with when I leave the kids, when I go to work or school and it's with my in-laws and they don't have that strict routine of like why they can't watch certain amount of TV or things like that. And I'm really trying to just release control from that as well. Um, and yeah, it's just hard. It's very, I feel like I've used the word exhausted so many times, but I feel like at the end of the day, I just kind of just like plop down and I feel like my brain is just overworking all of the time and trying to think of like the best case scenarios and how things should be run. And at the end of the day, I can't control everything, especially with all my other responsibilities. So it's a lot.
And actually, you're touching base on different areas because you're in as previous sessions as well. You were talking about school, you're talking about family, and you're talking about different ones. And we keep bringing it up at the being exhausted, right?
Yeah.
What do you think exhausted would mean for Daisy? I mean,
Um, I feel like exhaustion for me is like, it's a good question. I think it's to a point whenever I like get my patience is out and like I'm all of a sudden very irritated. I get like brain fog. Um, and a lot of times it's because I'm hungry, to be honest. Like I feel like at once I'm like, okay, I need to take a break and I go in and get a snack and I just kind of refuel myself.
mhm,
I feel like I feel exhaustion in that way. And then I mean, I sleep very well at night, but I feel like my day is very much go, go, go all the time. And even my husband kind of made a comment on that and he was like, you feel like you need to fill every part of the day. You see like an empty gap and you're like, okay, what do I need to put there? And I do that, but it's mainly because it's like I I feel like if I have a gap somewhere, I can be like, I need to attend to this thing. This is on my list of all the things. I can fit it in here. And so it's not so much that I'm trying to like be over accomplishing. I am very time efficient. So like I want to get things done so that way I'm not stressing at the end of the day. Um, but again, I think that all kind of leads back to control, and having that control does lead to that exhaustion, I feel like.
Okay. So we're bringing together different areas. You're talking about exhaustion, you're talking about control, and we keep talking about it in different areas of your life. But at the same time, last time you were talking also about roles and how they're fitting into the different areas of your life.
Yeah.
And I see that you're smiling about it. Is it something you want to talk? Because you're like, yes.
Yeah, I just feel like I I don't know, I don't definitely don't know how to balance it. Like I don't know where I'm fitting. And I think it's kind of intimidating, as I think the reason I was smiling because I'm like thinking about in the fall when things shift. So I kind of got a grasp on the summer. When at the first couple of weeks when school started, I was overwhelmed with all of the things, like getting into a routine. I couldn't keep up with my schoolwork. Not that I was like behind, but I was like normally ahead. And I just felt very like out of sync, and I got into a rhythm. And then balancing everything. And then now that fall is starting and my kids are going to school and I'm starting practicum and like all of the things, I'm getting nervous and scared that I'm gonna like fail at that, I guess, or just like be so overwhelmed and reach burnout and being like trying to navigate all of those parts. But I think the way that the roles kind of intertwine with that is like, how am I gonna mom? How am I gonna do the most important thing that like pay attention to my kids? And um, that role is most important to me, but I also feel like that's kind of the role that's unfortunately like on the back burner. Like the relationship between my husband and my kids, they're number one. But the season of my life, it's calling for other things, like that's pulling me there. And so it does lead me, getting back into that guilt of just being like, I'm not showing up where my value is.
Your value, okay, that is getting the attention, definitely the value. And one part that I really appreciate that you're sharing right now is that it seems that you're able to differentiate different areas because you're talking again the season. You're being
Yeah,
specific to this is the season that I'm experiencing right now. I mean,
yeah,
they're important and they're my priority, but then at the same time, I mean, communication. You have been talking in previous sessions when you're talking to your husband, communication, and also to your kids. I
yeah,
really appreciate one part that you shared with your kid that it will, with your son, that it
yeah,
will be that how he is going and appreciating mom on the different stages on your life, that it will be now
yeah,
that mom is working and she's at doing her masters, and how is it that for your daughter and him you want to also show this is the role that I have and this is what you can do. It's not only one that you're gonna play. um do you see this pattern or this kind of behavior that you're saying controlling? Um, do you see it playing different areas of your life besides mom and at school? Do you see it playing it in other little or big areas of your life?
yeah, for sure. I think control is something I've kind of struggled with forever. I was diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder when
Mhm.
I was, I don't know, like five. I started overly counting things. So I can give you an example. I would do, if I was 5 years old, I would pump the shampoo in my hand 5 times. And then I would have to wash my hair counting to five. And I remember like as I got older, like I would be like, okay, when I turn 13, I'm gonna stop doing this because I'm gonna be 13 and I'm gonna be old. And it just never went away. And it's not as bad anymore. I'm able to like really kind of control my OCD by like kind of like exposure therapy. Like when I feel it coming on, I can just, for instance, if I'm in the shower and I find myself overly counting stuff, I'll just turn the shower off and I get out because that kind of stops it. in its tracks. But I think, yeah, I think in the back of my mind, I kind of use those OCD tendencies to like take control of stuff because there's a right way to do it, or there's like, a specific measurement of success.
Mhm.
Um, and I feel like I definitely kind of leaks into my daily life in every way. Like I said, taking showers, washing dishes, going into more professional things like work. I definitely have to control what I'm doing at work. And I feel like when expectations are set for me, then that's like my measurement of success. And then I have to like reach that. And that's how I get that control.
And seeing your face when you're like, oh, yes, this is I see in the different areas of my life. And then again, we're going back to one of your strengths, that it will
Yeah.
be you bring that awareness that okay, the OCDC, and when I was 13. So
Hmm.
I mean, we can mark it as one of your biggest strengths, that it will be the awareness that you have not only on Daisy, on the present, but also when you were 13, when you were 12, about to be 13.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would love if you want to, we can put a pin on it. There will be something we can talk about in our next session.
Yeah, for sure. I'd
Um,
like that.
mhm. And actually, now that you're talking about the control as a topic in different areas, do you think that that will have anything to do with the way that you see life, or maybe the way that you were bringing it up and the way that you were growing up? Because I remember you were telling me about when you were growing up. Is there anything that you can see there?
Yeah, I think that just like as a child, I didn't have control over a lot of things. My parents split when I was 2, and then my mom quickly remarried, quickly had other children. My dad did the same, and I felt very like out of sync, I guess, and I didn't know where like I just felt like I didn't have like a foundation, and nobody was there helping me like I guess being the control, like being what like a mom and dad should, like controlling that. I was very much on me. I had to do all the controlling. Um, so I think it kind of was like a coping mechanism for me, was like developing that OCD. Like if everything else is out of my control and I can't control that, I can control how long I wash my hair. So I think it definitely stems back a long time. And yeah, just not having really that like parental guidance in that way, I guess. And they didn't understand what OCD was and why I was acting in certain ways. They just thought I took really long showers, like 2 hour showers. They were like, "What do you do in there?" And I was so ashamed of like telling them I'm counting, like that's why I'm taking so long. But yeah, it's I think just the way that I brought up, I think that part in that aspect I was kind of put down. I wasn't really understood, um, for sure. Yeah.
Then again, I will say that I appreciate what you're sharing right now, Daisy, because is it how is it the shame that you were feeling at the moment, and how is it? I would like to also bring a different. I mean, according to the other sessions that we have been having, that it will be how is it that when you were a kid, maybe you didn't have that much control of everything that was going on, and now we can see it. And you have expressed it, right? But then also, how is it? Please correct me if I'm wrong, that it will be, is it something that you notice that you're trying to avoid with your kids? That it will be that they don't go through the same situation that you were going, that it will be okay. They don't have to uh, have all the control. So you're providing
Yeah.
them a safe environment, a nurturing environment that is it safe for exploring, safe for them to encourage to ask that many questions that you have been sharing with me before.
Yeah, I definitely do. And I think that kind of why it ties into like why I feel guilty about um not being around as much because and like taking my son away from dad like his previous school and starting a new school because I do want to provide that like foundation. I want to provide a sense of safety and feeling like mom and we're not going to leave. We're going to be there for you. So yeah, I definitely would say and I am intentional about other things. So like with my son's talking about his feelings about not being at the other school, and I'm very present. I work really hard on like trying to get him through those feelings and giving him the right like tools to deal with them. So it's been very yeah like kind of eye-opening for sure. I definitely try to give to them what I didn't get for sure.
Mhm. I would love that we can have a longer session because we're touching so many different topics today.
Yeah.
And you're bringing it up so many of your the way that you're feeling. And one thing that, again, going back to the awareness, is it you're bringing it up those kind of feelings when you were younger, and how is it that you were seeing that transition as you were growing up, and now you're trying to work on those for your kids as well, that it will be that they experience the things that you appreciated, but at the same time not the ones that you didn't.
Yeah.
And I will invite you to actually, if there's any goals that you want to work on, that you feel ready, that we can work for our next session, what would it look
Hmm.
like for you?
A goal for me would maybe just to like accept help, I guess. So when someone is saying, I will take the kids from you or I will make you dinner. Oh my gosh, that kind of makes me cringe. I'm gonna do that because like I very much control everything that I eat. That's another thing that we could have talked about forever. So I think when someone offers me to eat, maybe releasing the control of not being able to eat exactly how I would eat or the ingredients that I'm eating, that's probably a good one because that's hard for me.
I like that we touch base on the control part, because you're going back to the control on eating, work,
Yeah.
school, family, and that's something that, again, we can work together, and also this shame. So then for the goals, we're gonna work on this one, that it's important, that it will be for the food. Maybe somebody can cook for you. And I saw
Okay.
you smile, so then that's great. Seems like you're gonna enjoy it. Do you feel ready then for this option? Do you want to do it on a specific day, or how do you want to work on it?
Um, I feel ready. I think maybe the best way to do it with me for me would be like on a Sunday, just because I feel like that's the day where I could be like, it's the end of the week. If I'm not eating exactly how I want to eat, then it's okay. I can kind of like release that control a little bit. Yeah, for sure. I think Sunday would be good.
Okay, so then we're gonna set it up for Sunday. Our next session is gonna be on a Monday, so then perfectly fine. We're gonna remember all those
Yeah.
details. If you want to write it down, that will be great. And it seems that you're ready to go for it. And
Yes.
the other one, I mean, you can talk it with your husband or whoever is gonna do that for you. And the other one that I want to say is, it just going back before we close, for the OCD that you were mentioning. I mean, I just wanted to let you know that so many of my clients have already have experienced this in similar situations that what you were sharing. So I think I just want to share with you that it's completely normal. There's so many people that go through it. Maybe we're not sharing so many statistics right now, but rest
Yeah.
assured that is it something that we go through it, and then again, feeling proud that you're aware of your current situation. So
Thank
thank you so
you.
much, and I will see you for our next session.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Sheila.